What it do, y'all? We back with another episode of Wrestling with Exotics, and today we're gonna be breaking down some of the worst fucking storylines in all of WWE history. Like these storylines gonna have you like, why the hell did they do that?
Who signed off on this? Vince, you knew about this? You let them go in front of the world?
This your man's?
No.
With that being said, we're gonna kick shit off with Jinder Mahal's title run. This was one of the most randomest title runs ever in all of WWE history. This man went from a multiple losing streak to WWE champion overnight. His story begins in the six-pack challenge on SmackDown to determine the number one contender for Randy Orton's title at that time. Jinder used his minions to host Sami Zayn and win the match. Jinder was confused to why no one was fucking with him like that after he won that match. And it was pretty much like, bro, you just derailed Sami Zayn from the only title shot that he ever really had. You know what I'm saying? When I looked back on that match, it makes a lot of sense to why Sami doesn't have the WWE Championship today. You know what I'm saying? And this was a prime Sami Zayn. He had his haircut. He wasn't balding.
He hit the DDTs through the turnbuckles.
Yeah, bro. This one was accurate. But anyways, over the next few weeks, Jinder Mahal builds momentum to the 2017 Backlash. So Randy was about to win this match. And, of course, Jinder Mahal had to use his minions to, get over on Randy. Randy ended up focusing more on Jinder Mahal and his minions and allowed Jinder to get the upper hand. And not only get the upper hand, but win the WWE fucking championship. I was sick as hell as a kid, bro, just watching that. Like, I can't believe they really let this happen. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't believe that Randy Orton stood for that. Again, this was one of the biggest head scratchers in all of WWE. American fans, I'm pretty sure, were not hyped on that, but I'm pretty sure Indian fans were.
Absolutely, bro. I was really disgusted. Not the fact of the demographic, but the fact of that Randy let this slide. But it has to do with the fact that he's one of the last of the old generations of real wrestlers. Wrestlers like, you do what's best for the company. If Vince asks you to do this because he's trying to get a bigger picture idea off, and he's looked at it, well, Vince gave me 13 world championships up to that time. What's the big deal? Yeah. And I feel like Randy's reign was kind of doomed from the start. But it's like Jinder should not have deserved that, like 100%.
Yeah, bro, that was bad. But what made it even worse was him stamping that win at Battleground in the Punjabi prison match. He ends up beating Randy Orton again, but this time with the help of the Great Khali, who we never see again. And it's crazy because it's like...
We didn't see him before and we didn't see him after.
After, he just showed up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So Jinder then sets his sights on Shinsuke Nakamura, but before then he has a match with John Cena. Their match gets interrupted by the Money in the Bank winner at that time, Baron Corbin. And it's so funny, bro, seeing Baron Corbin at this time because this was really his one and only true opportunity that he had for the WWE Championship, and he lost it to Jinder fucking Mahal.
Up in smoke.
Jinder Mahal had some finesse throughout this reign because he was able to extend this reign out to 170 days. And not only that, but he got some credible wins in the long run while he's doing it. You know what I'm saying?
It's an incredible Hall of Famer to stop him. Future Hall of Famer, I should say.
Right. So Corbin wasted the only opportunity that he ever had for the WWE Championship. Then Jinder Mahal went on to face Shinsuke Nakamura and eventually hold him as well. Thankfully, November 7th, 2017, AJ Styles puts an end to the fucking madness by dethroning Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship. Jinder Mahal's reign caused a lot of wrestlers to be held back who were very well more deserving than him. Names like Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura. Jinder Mahal only competed in one pay-per-view, bro, before he ever won that WWE Championship. And it was in a tag team match. You know what I'm saying? So
3MB?
Yes, it was. So it's like for him to be thrusted in the spotlight like this had everybody's eyebrows touching. Everyone was pissed off, and nobody could understand it. I'd love to hear WWE's reasoning behind this storyline, but I kind of feel like it was to expand their fan base in the Middle East.
Just to double up on what you were saying about you feel like it's for the demographic of the Indian population, I 100% agree with that. I don't feel like WWE genuinely saw a future in Jinder, but they were trying to source a market. I feel like they did some type of source testing and seeing where they're lacking in certain countries, and they're like, that's a lot of people in that country that are not watching us. That could be like a billion screens. That's WWE right there.
Hell yeah.
So,
And India is dominating the demographic right now.
So it was successful in the long run for WWE, not for Jinder though, because it kind of underlined the fact that he's not a credible champion. We saw what you guys were trying to do. To follow up that terrible storyline, I have to mention John Cena taking on the Nexus. That
Jesus.
was the worst storyline possible, not only for John, but for all the Nexus involved. First off, this started off June 7, 2010. It started off real spooky, kind of like how you newer wrestler fans, you seen the Shield rise up on each side of the ring. Nexus did that, but there were 7 of them. So imagine that they damn near doubled on each side of the ring, just standing there waiting for you. And you're trying to look, and I'll never forget, they all move at once. And when they just swarmed John, they literally tore the ring apart, beat his ass.
Beat his ass.
Like,
I ain't never seen John Cena get the mixtape like that.
They beat his ass, and I know John was like low key, like I didn't even beat none of y'all yet. Why y'all doing
right?
it? Like,
I didn't even sign off on this ass whooping. It looked like John did not sign off on that ass whooping.
He did that because low key Daniel Bryan was involved. Because at that time it was 8 of them. Because he got removed because he went OD. He choked out fucking Justin Roberts with his tie. So they were just like, yeah, that was too much. We need his voice. You're good. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Right.
But for the rest of them, let's just say they had 2 months of just whooping ass and jumping in matches, costing people shit. They cost John Cena the WWE Championship and leading him to take them on at SummerSlam that year, which he put together a team that involved the Hall of Famer Bret Hart and, like I said, Daniel Bryan, because he was let go because he went too hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just thought this was crazy because I remember as a kid, bro, I'm thinking Nexus got this shit, bro. They can build them up. They whoop everybody's ass. Nigga could just be in a match and he like, oh man, I just got my ass whooped. And he sees the Nexus surrounding him, and then they just wait for him to flinch, and they like whoop his ass for this tag team with this washed ass Bret Hart and the rest of Unforgettable, like the Chris Jericho, Edge, and Daniel Bryan, John Cena, R-Truth.
R-Truth.
R-Truth among the great.
That's that boy.
That's not real. Yeah, really that boy for real. Don't let that. He just get entertainer. That's why we laughing.
Right.
But he really know how he wanted them ones for real.
Yes.
That's why he was on that team. Anyhow, they overcame the Nexus, this dominant faction that's been moving as a solid unit for months on end. How the fuck is this hodgepodge? I know they're great tag team. It doesn't because you're a great talent mean you can just mesh well. You know what I mean?
Right.
So how do you feel? How do you think I feel as a kid watching that? I'm like, oh, they suck. Oh, this Johnson overcoming once.
Yeah, I was like, oh, a bunch of rookies from NXT. Oh,
John's got it.
John got to mix them.
Yeah, John got it.
And I thought it was gonna be like more head up type shit too. It was not ever head up. I can't remember one time it was just head up. Like no,
it was always some coward shit.
Yeah, niggas was jumping John every chance they got.
They jumped John to the point. Somehow, Wade Barrett wheels his way into a championship match against Randy Orton. And then now John Cena is thrusted in the storyline as the special guest referee. And the stipulation is, with John Cena being the special guest referee, if Wade loses, he has to be fired. But if Randy wins, he has to join the Nexus. So I was like, oh shit. Not did I ever think that John in a million years was gonna get fired nor join the Nexus. So I was kind of confused on how it's gonna.
It's like, it's gonna go south either way.
Well, yeah. So I'm like confused. So of course, John, because he always does the right thing, Mr. Superman, he does an impartial referee job and lets Randy win, which is one of his most rivaled competitors of all time. But he has to join the Nexus now. And John Cena becomes the cancer of the Nexus, fighting him from within until Wade's like, enough of this, John. You want the match with me? A match with me at TLC in a chairs match. And if you win, you get to leave the Nexus. Obviously, I was like, oh, John's finally about to get out of this shit. Yo, John buries him, not only literally, figuratively, all that shit.
All of
Bunch
that.
of tears on top of Wade. Wade has never recovered from this. They tried to give him consolation prizes such as Intercontinental Championships and him winning King of the Ring. All that rubbish. It does not help him. It devalued him even more because one thing WWE is keen at doing, but they don't learn from this. You cannot shoot somebody onto the main roster and have them challenge for the main belt and in their first go around lose that shit, only for them to come around win championships under that shit like, oh, it's first try. That just shows me you're not ready for that shit. So when you go back to going for a main title, I'm gonna think about you losing.
Right.
John never went through that.
John won off the rip.
Mm-hmm. And y'all built him up to be an actual character where it's like, if he does lose it, it's never give up. Mm-hmm. These other people you talking about, they're making it seem like they're that shit and they ain't never gonna lose. And
yeah.
It don't work like that.
That's why I be saying WWE needs to make more belts for the women, because after they lose that world title match, they go right back to the end of the line, and then we don't see them for months on end. Damn near forget that they even on the roster.
This is really confusing. Like, you know what I mean? Overall, this storyline just couldn't have been worse. I feel like this literally set back everybody except Daniel Bryan, and that saved him because he wasn't really a part of this shit. Because if he was, he would have entangled all this foolery.
Oh, and except what's his name? Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, because he had to go back to NXT and revoke himself and bring on some new different shit. He had to say, "Hey, I'm Bray Wyatt now. I ain't Husky Harris.
Right?
Who's that? That's Porky the Pig now."
No cap. That was probably the best move he ever did. Up next, I got Dolph Ziggler's storyline with Vicky Guerrero. And this storyline is kind of funny because Dolph is doing exactly what Edge just got done doing. Fake fucking with Vicky Guerrero, making out with her on TV, getting extra freaky and nasty with her for a title. For a title.
And he was doing it a lot for mid-card titles with that.
Yeah, so it was just twice as more embarrassing for Dolph Ziggler to do it because it basically looked like he was getting Edge's sloppy seconds. You know what I'm saying? And Vicky is already sloppy enough. So seconds is even worse. And I just got to mention, I know Eddie Guerrero was rolling in his fucking grave, bro.
He's like, what is going on?
If that was my wife, I would probably haunt that bitch every fucking night. Give her straight terror. You gonna need 3 priests to get me out that house. The fuck is wrong with you? You couldn't wait for me to die so you can get you some young white blonde nigga. Like, you've been waiting the entire time for that.
Only messing with the Blancos.
That was probably Vicky's most favoriteest time in her entire life, bro. She got her 2 white boys back to back.
When she got her haircut,
yes.
Dolph introduced her. He's like, we got a new Vicky Guerrero. I was like, you're nasty.
It's like, hell no. But anyway, this storyline led to one of the worst title reigns and also the most least prestigious title reigns ever in WWE history. So this story basically starts off with Dolph Ziggler losing 3 times in a row. And WWE just finally is just like, bro, okay, you suck. We know that you're not going to beat Edge. So here, just take this world title. Please, just take the shit. In the form of Vicky Guerrero. Moments after being crowned the new world champion, Teddy Long orders Dolph Ziggler to go and have a match with Edge, where he loses it immediately. And not only that, he gets kicked off of SmackDown. Dolph Ziggler's reign, again, was one of the shortest and least prestigious reigns in all of wrestling. Basically, it was just a waste of TV time,
like
bro.
30 minutes, he was champion.
Literally, for 30 minutes, he was champ. Him holding that belt in the fashion in which he did really significantly hurt his career overall. He's been searching for that same type of respect ever since and just can't seem to get it. He even went to NXT and won their world title, and it didn't make any noise. Nobody felt any kind of way, and his reign wasn't long there. And sure enough, he was right back on the main roster like he never left. And now he's sitting here having weird backstage moments with us, Mustafa Ali, on some weirdo shit. So I feel like this storyline kind of fucked Dolph Ziggler's whole entire career up. You know what I'm saying? Because he's always been lacking the credibility. Ways that he could have gained credibility in this run, he could have won that Royal Rumble and then had a match at Mania. And then that would have been like, okay, at least you went through 30 other competitors. You went through all this hard shit. So we had to respect him a little bit. And he would have been able to hold the title just a little longer. Or he could have had a spot in the elimination chamber and he could have won it like that. And then we could say, oh, he overcame 5 other competitors and won the world title. So he would have a little bit more respect on his name. But that didn't happen. So, sorry.
You know how I know Dolph ain't shit?
Can I just say real quick? WWE, you guys can't keep throwing in there that he's from Kent State because we don't give a fuck.
He's all American. Let me tell you about Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler ain't never had a WrestleMania moment. That's how you know they don't fuck with you, Dolph. They don't fuck with you.
Like I want to know what made him want to start reenacting Shawn Michaels.
Because I know why. Because he's like, they're like, he sells a super kick so good, or he knows how to listen here. You are a piece of shit. You don't have no originality. You were a male cheerleader. You try to sky from that and be like, hey, my name's Dolph Ziggler. And then that shit didn't get over. Then you have to tell people you're better than them and start doing this shit. You know what's funny about you? The only cool thing about you, I think, was as a younger kid, I used to tell my brother that after getting out the pool, splash that shit in his face. That's the only cool shit you did. You stopped doing that, and now you flat iron your hair. You wear my girlfriend was saying you were in latex, or ripped latex is crazy. I just like you wear jean jackets that just say heel Ziggler, and I'm just like, are you really even a heel? You're just there. You don't make me feel mad. You don't make me feel anything. I'm just upset that you're consistently putting up this act of your illegible act. You can't check down on Mustafa Ali.
And they using Mr. Kent State as a platform for Ali to skyrocket off of. And I think that is hilarious.
Because Ali didn't have it. He's complained too much, done too much weird shit out the ring, and hasn't won enough victories to make me feel like he's a legible contender to either go for any title. I just feel like he should, he's not to say he should come to AEW, but he should try his luck out on other platforms. He'll be more appreciated because he's tolerated at WWE. He is not celebrated.
Hey, if he can go back to NXT and win a world title in this state of his career, I don't see why he can't go to TNA and do it. You know what I'm saying? New World Japan, I don't think they'll play with you like that. You're going to have to come up with a whole nother moveset, Mr. Kent State.
He don't hit it hard enough to do that shit.
Right.
You see that theatrics.
They're going to knock your straightener out.
Bro, when I see him straighten that hair, I'll be confused.
Me too. I'll be like, yo, is this a bitch? And then I really look, I'm like, that's Dolph. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm like, you said, who's doing that? And like, it's not even cool to play if you're doing it yourself. If you do it yourself, that's extra weird.
Because what make it sus is because he's always wearing a headband to hold the shit back or something.
Bro, he's just doing a lot of weird shit now, and I'm just like, Dolph, you're 41. Why are you in latex? Wait, this is like he's going backwards in a lot of shit. Like, used to wear the cheetah print. I'll never forget that. And he had the cheetah print tape on. Remember when he was the first Dolph Ziggler with the latex jacket? Then he stopped wearing latex jacket, sleeveless jacket. Then he came out with just wearing the latex shorts. Then he stopped doing that. He said, "I'm gonna just wear pants." I was like, "Okay, cool. You take yourself serious to giving you world title."
But they were skinny jeans.
Yeah, this is like 2016. Remember when he had that match against then Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam, and they wanted us to take him seriously because then he went on the Intercontinental feud with The Miz.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, Dolph, you got me. Then he kind of lose me. Then 2017 starts teaming up with Drew. Oh, I think it's 2018. Drew McIntyre starts teaming up. I'm like, okay, Dolph, got the edge back.
No.
And you see how I just went quiet? It's been that ever since.
Right.
And he been reaching at the nails to do all this shit. So I think you made a very valid point about how this reign has set him back. And even when he cashed in, everyone would be like, that was such a moment. The night after WrestleMania. That shit fizzled out. Because his first reign was so ass. If that would have been his first reign, okay, cool. Everybody has a cool little Money in the Bank first title reign. But it always go back to that reign. Right. How do you going to start? That's not cool.
Yeah.
But that brings me to my second worst storyline. It's funny they mentioned the Guerreros because I was going to mention Eddie taking on JBL. I am not a fan of this. This storyline took place from May 2004 to July 2004. This was short-lived because Eddie just was falling through the pressures of not wanting to slip back into addiction, and he wanted to just make sure the company was in high esteem along with himself. Great company man. But I just feel like the way WWE executed this storyline was not it. How could you have this proud Latino man go against this bigot that they're trying to portray? No, this is actually how JBL is in real life. What they're showing him on screen, he's at the border, he's stopping people, and he's kicking them down. He's degrading them, talking about you better kick him in the ass and be like, you better go tell your friends that John Bradshaw Layfield will be waiting at the border for him. Because he is a real American hero. Like what? Like, and then this man, then okay, I feel like they didn't even give him credit because Eddie should have won the first match they had. That was at Judgment Day, right? And he got disqualified. Eddie lost the grip of blood that match. Okay, then this led to the Texas Bull Rope match, July. This was horrific.
Hey, that match right there was brutal as hell. That was probably one of JBL's best matches, honestly, looking back on it.
It was, honestly, looking back on it. And I just felt so like, this is bullshit. How dare they let this shit slide? Like, Eddie's supposed to win this shit because he was degraded. He got lost the other match by disqualification.
Yeah.
Now it's time to stamp this shit because he is certified Hall of Famer. Although, be it, JBL's in there too. It just doesn't work like that. You got to earn that shit. Like, yeah. Eddie went through multiple companies being that guy, not just being a tag team wrestler like JBL. So I just felt like the way they portrayed it, and they didn't let him get a no get back because they put him on sidetrack missions with Kurt Angle and shit like that. And I was just like, even though Kurt's my dude, it's like, no, Eddie deserved to be back in the main event. The ratings, I'm sure they didn't go up when JBL was there. So like, Eddie should have been like, nah, it wasn't me. It's time for me to step up. But WWE should have also brought it to the attention and not let him go out like that.
No cap, bro. As much as I don't like JBL, I do respect his title reigns though, because
it was 10 months. He was longer reigning champion than Triple H. If you don't believe it or not,
that's what I'm saying, bro. And not only that, but he put on some real matches,
some brute matches. Barbed wire, steel cage, Big Show 2005, No Way Out. You got him taking on Big Show and barbed wire, steel cage matches. The month before that, he's taking on the Big Show and Kurt Angle in a triple threat match, which he won. Like, JBL really showed how to pick his spots, you know?
Yeah.
And it was kind of crazy at that time. Triple H was picking spots, but he had a more versatile moveset, so he could actually put on, like real classic, used to wrestling all the time by himself. JBL kind of relied strictly on him having that cabinet to come through and win every match for him.
All right, and up next, I got John Cena versus Batista's storyline. This storyline looked like it was about to be cool, but it ended up ruining Batista's career and also making him look like a bitch.
100%.
What started this terrible ass storyline was Vince McMahon randomly introducing Batista at the end of John Cena's Elimination Chamber match, which he won the WWE title in 2010. That led to their WrestleMania 26 match where John Cena made Batista tap out. And then that led to the fatal Last Man Standing match where John Cena duct taped Batista's legs to the ring post. That was one of the most creative wins and showings that we've ever seen in all of wrestling.
And from John.
And from John in general, bro. Honestly, one of my favorite matches by John. After that match, they then had an I Quit match. And John Cena really stamped those last two wins with this I Quit match by FU and Batista off the top of a car.
He ain't recovered from that shit.
And Batista ended up coming on the following Raw in a wheelchair. And he appeared to be in very bad shape. Unfortunately, Bret Hart didn't give a shit about that. Bret Hart basically told him, look, if you want another shot at John Cena, I'll give it to you. But you got to beat Randy Orton, and he's just as injured as you are, so y'all should be cool. And Batista's like, are you playing? Look at me. My nigga in a neck brace and shit, black eye, broken leg and shit. He fucked off in this wheelchair, you know what I'm saying? So Bret Hart's just like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Do you want the match or not? If you're not gonna take it, I'm gonna make the match, and I'm just gonna have you forfeit it, and then we just move the fuck on. Batista's like, you're kidding. Bret is like, nigga, no, I'm dead ass. So obviously, on some dickhead shit, Bret Hart makes the match official, and Batista ends up having to forfeit. Now, this is where the downfall started because Batista could have just easily responded with, all right, motherfucker, when I heal up, I'm going to whoop your ass and I'm going to get my title back and I'm going to whoop John Cena's ass, this, that. You know, he could have went out like a player or still kept some type of credibility to his character. He absolutely bitched up. He's like, you guys are nothing without me. You can't do this to me. I'm just going to fucking quit. You guys think I won't? Why? Why quit? I'm like, bro, who are you, Vicky Guerrero? Like, if you don't cut that shit out, like, that was the worst display of Batista I've ever fucking seen. And I don't think he ever was able to live that down. With that being said, Batista will forever be known as a quitter and a bitch for walking out on WWE. And not only did he do it once, but he actually did it twice. Back in 2014.
Yeah.
Yep. He was getting tired of getting beat up by the Shield. He was like, Hunter, you playing with me, nigga. I need that title match, bro. He like, man, there's a reason why I run the show, all right? Plus, you would have joked. It's so funny, bro, because Hunter be real life scared of Batista. He be having to always retract his statement. Like, look, hold on.
Batista's with an angry background. He's a real criminal.
Hell yeah, I just be laughing about how Batista started when he was a part of Brother Devon's group.
Yeah, oh my god.
He was the what's his name?
Deacon Batista.
The Deacon Batista.
You're funny as fuck.
Yo, he was the demon there. The Deacon was the demon.
He walked around with the Bible like this. I would be like, yo, Batista is crazy. He loves that
Didn't
shit.
say a word. Just look weird as fuck in the background.
He said, Brother Devon, do I get him?
By Batista quitting in 2010, that really put a stain on his career. And I feel like that also led him to getting hoed in his last match ever against Triple H. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You went out with no respect, and they're going to treat you with no respect.
Absolutely. Can't believe that man tripped getting in the ring. He thinks that's going to be his last legible match. Like, that's embarrassing.
That was embarrassing as hell, bro.
And he had Triple H right here. He going to take his nose ring out. First off, too, why he got a nose? Why?
Why you want the nose ring so bad? Like Mr. Hollywood? Like,
why do anybody like, dude, why you got nose rings? Why? Bringing our discussion of crazy storylines to the end. We got Triple H and Kane with this Katie Vick storyline, bro. This is one of the most atrocious storylines of WWE history. This all started on October 7th, 2002. This is the beginning of the Reign of Terror with Triple H, the original big gold belt that they reintroduced earlier that year.
mm-hmm.
He just so happened to just come out one day, came and just won a match, and just be like, Kane, you're a murderer, and then kind of like looked at him. Well, and if those for you don't know, Kane was kind of looked at as a murderer anyway, because he's supposed to be the one that burned down his parents' house and killed them while they're inside, and he knew what he was doing, but he just liked playing with fire, so that was his whole thing. That was just his element,
right?
Fire. But anyway, so Kane was like looking at him, but then he's like, Kane, you know what I'm talking about. And Kane kind of looked at him kind of through the mask and whatnot at the time. He kind of was confused, like, what are you talking about? You don't know about that. The following week, Triple H follows up with this saying, Katie Vick. And he's like, and then now we're introduced to this fictional woman that supposedly Kane murdered, right? So Kane had to clear his name, come out to the ring. And you just see Kane in the middle of this ring, and he's kind of awkward, and he's trying to be like, yeah, Katie was my friend. Katie was a friend. She was there watching me from the beginning. She used to watch my matches. She never really liked too much watching me get beat up like that.
I remember that, bro. That was such an awkward ass fucking story.
It was so awkward and weird. And then you got Kane just gonna be like, yeah, one night we just going to party because we like to party, and we just had too much to drink one night, and she
That was
just
when they were starting to make Kane talk
talk.
more.
Yeah, I'm just
I
like,
didn't like
no,
that.
it's like, nah, he's more imposing when he doesn't talk. I want to know that. I like knowing I don't know why he's doing what he's doing.
Right. When he tries to explain that shit, you just be like, bro, you are not a monster.
You're just a psychopath. You're weird.
You're just a creep.
You're creepy, little creep. You're
The creep and a weirdo.
a big creep and a big weirdo. But anyway, Kane just explained, like, we just have too much to drink, and Katie was just like, you should drive. And I'm just like, how are you going to say it too much to drink? And she insisted on me driving. Doesn't look good. Why can't you be like, no one should drive? Like, yeah. Anyway, he continues to say, yeah, she insisted on driving her stick shift. So now she's driving a stick shift car. So he's also underlining that he does not know how to drive his vehicle.
Yes.
But he's like, fuck it, I'm drunk. I might as well. Like, what kind of logic is that? So apparently they drove, lost control of the car, rode off the side. He had a broken arm. Katie was dead instantly. That's so he says. Keep in mind, he's a fictional person. But it's at the time, we don't know that. It's all real. So Kane's all broke up that he even had to share this with the millions of viewers on Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw used to be trying to give you them soap opera vibes.
For sure. Then leading to the soap opera vibes, you got Triple H panning via satellite, as they used to do. He's in the mortuary with a casket open with a Kane mask. He might got the Levi's on, no shirt, but he's getting in there. Like, as if he's Kane, lift his body to get into this casket with the supposed Katie Vick's body and starts dry humping this body, bro. Saying, Katie, I'm sorry. Katie, I'm sorry. And this is just insane, bro, because you got to think, like, what the fuck? How did they who cleared this? How would Vince think that this would be okay? It was just not anyhow in shape or form good. Like, it was just a complete. That's why oftentimes WWE does not mention or try to acknowledge it. This is a low point. This is all leading from a unification match for the Intercontinental Championship between Kane and Triple H, which Kane ended up losing. So he dry humped your dead girlfriend's corpse, all for you to lose this match.
And for that, Triple H is the game. He said he don't ever lose.
He said you're just gonna have to learn. No one beats the game.
Hell yeah. He beat dead chicks in front of Kane, and he couldn't do nothing about it. He was a monster more than Kane.
He's crazy.
And that's all we got for you guys today. We appreciate you guys for always rocking with us here at Wrestling with Xotics. Again, it's your boy, Franchise Jerry, and I got my dog.
I think I need to feed you water.
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, man.
Share the shit with the world, y'all.
And turn on your post notifications so you know every time we drop a track. Peace.